give respect and give some particular charity. And we're about to end. This is just some very nice photographs from Vrindavan. This is the place, the Kaliya Ghat, with the Kaliya deity inside that temple you see on the upper right. And there's the Ghat, the steps leading down to the river Jamuna. And here's quickly, this is a little shrine or a temple. And inside the temple, there's deities. And get a closer look, and there's the deities. Krishna dancing on the hoods of Kaliya. That's inside this place, Kaliya Ghat in Vrindavan. And there's a yatra, a group of attendees, and they're hearing the pastime right at the place where the pastime occurred. Here's the Kadamba tree from which Krishna jumped. Now it's said because Garuda placed some nectar on the tree, then the tree hasn't died. That's what they say. It's the same tree. And this is the area. And then here's one of the deities in the ISKCON Fiji temple, the deity of Kaliya Krishna. Krishna dancing on the hoods of the Kaliya serpent. That's it. Except there's one more sloka that you've heard before. So here we go.
God.
Well, it's playing, but there's no sound. We'll fix it. Srila Prabhupada ki. This is a lot of material to cover, and took a lot to put the material together. And I think I'll most likely want to do this again somewhere, and the second time probably in more pieces than 6, and go a little more slowly in some places, and some further commentary. I have some ideas of where further. So you've been given, an attempt has been made to give you an essence of this pastime, of course, in greater length. I remember one of the first times they presented this Kali Leela, it took one day. It's a nice pastime, but without all the details, without all the prayers and everything. It's just, the quick picture of the pastime is charming. And Krishna's kindness is very clear. Kind to Kaliya and kind to the wives of Kaliya and kind to the residents of Vrindavan. And he didn't kill him, he purified him. So let's see if there's some discussion. Yeah, Sri Vrindavan, you got your hand up already.
Thank you very much for allowing us to dive literally into the Kaliya pastime. I just want to share a couple of things which I found in the purport of this, the last verse of chapter 16, in which Kaliya is making offerings to Krishna. In that it's mentioned that Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, so the word is, in the verse is Garuda Dhwaja, flag. He whose flag is marked by Garuda, that Kali also desired to become Lord Krishna's carrier. Garuda and the serpents are originally related, which you told us, they are cousins. So Kali wanted to indicate to Lord Krishna.
Oh, you're going fast again.
Kalia wanted to, so he addressed Krishna as Garuda Dhwaja, and Vishwanath Chakrabarti Thakur says, if you ever have to go to a distant place, you should also think of me as your personal carrier. I am the servant of your servant, and in the wink of an eye, I can travel hundreds of millions of yojanas.
Hundreds of millions of
Yojanas.
yojanas.
Yojanas. Thus, the Puranas narrate that in the course of Lord Krishna's eternal cycle of pastimes, when Kamsa orders the Lord to come to Mathura, he sometimes goes there mounted upon Kaliya. It's right in the Bhagavatam purport here. In my phone.
Okay.
It was very nice. Garuda Dhwaja. That's why he addressed him.
Vishwanath Chakrabarti Thakur is it's an amazing source of commentaries and secondary stories, tertiary stories, but very interesting. It's not just embellishments. It's rasa. Krishna has affection, and he exhibits the affection in ways that Vishwanath understands and shares with us.
Guru Bhaj, can I share one more thing from you were talking about Krishna Balram installation and the big installation ceremony which Prabhupada got all these different priests from Vrindavan. So in my personal reading of Bhagavatam, I'm on chapter 3 of Canto 6. And in this morning, I was reading that...
No, speak slowly.
In the purport of chapter of Canto 6, 3.25, Prabhupada...
Canto 6.
6.3.25.
6:14:35.
6.3.25.
6:3:25.
This is when Yamaraj is instructing his messengers. So in the book which Prabhupada is quoting about the installation, and he says, I considered Sankirtan more important than Vedic ritualistic ceremonies. But those ceremonies were meant for persons who want to go to the heavenly planets. And Sankirtan was meant for devotees who are interested in pleasing the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So Prabhupada is saying that in the purport. How Sankirtan, I really was wanting to do only Sankirtan, but the Brajvasis, like you were saying, Brajvasis would not be very much impressed. So he said the ceremonies were meant for those who are totally interested in Karma Kanda section. So I thought I would just share that.
Okay.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj. Thank you so much for going in such a detail with this wonderful pastimes. There are a lot of very interesting, important points to take home. So, pondering on this, what Mataji has mentioned, like the Lord Krishna reveals his name, form, his gunas and leelas based on one's purification. Like, can we understand that some of these details that we hear from like Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, just like what Vrindavan Mataji was mentioning about Garuda, like Kaliya carrying Krishna. So is it like they are sharing this based on their just realizations or based on the revelation of the pastimes? As we heard earlier that Krishna reveals his pastimes also to them in detail. So can we understand that they would have seen this pastime and from that they are revealing it to us? How do we understand?
Well, a question came, what does see the pastime mean? Is it in the mind or is it outside or the enactment of the pastime? Whether it's A or B, there's realization. Krishna can reveal things to such a devotee like Vishwanath or Rupa Goswami or others that something is revealed to them. Many things are revealed to them that are not, chapter and verse from the Bhagavatam, but it's their realizations. So your question is what Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur writing, is it, did he actually experience the pastime or what? That's your question.
Yes, ma'am.
We can't say. There may be both. At least it's Krishna's pulling back the curtain and showing. And he may hold the curtain open. He may close the curtain shortly thereafter. But Krishna's giving these elevated souls a glimpse into some of the details of his eternal pastimes that are not recorded in the Bhagavatam. So then it very much depends upon the adhikar, the qualification of the person. Because, fiction writers can write all kinds of things, and they do, all kinds of things. Like, this example of the Gujarati song that you mentioned. It's not the Leela. It's not in alignment with. And what our acharyas write, because they have the adhikar, we value it or trust it implicitly. It's not the same of chapter and verse from Bhagavatam, but it's as good as. Because these personalities, certain personalities, have that very clear qualification. And so exactly what his experience was, did he see the pastime? Did he enter into the pastime? Did he have some part of the pastime revealed to him in his mind? It can be any one of the above. They're equally valid. Okay.
Thank you, Maharaj. I have two more questions, but
Two
I can
more.
wait.
Give him the microphone.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. First of all, thank you for all the classes you've done last week. We were able to absorb ourselves in Kaliya Leela in great detail. So very thankful to you on that.
You get a vacation tomorrow.
I don't think so. I need a vacation, but I think my question is, Maharaj, when I read the third canto, 29th chapter, on the envy, the 4 envy that you mentioned. So
You did this recently?
Yeah, just a couple of weeks ago.
Okay.
So one eye-opening thing for me was, because initially Lord Kapila explained that different types of devotees, devotee in mode of passion, ignorance, and goodness. Then he explained the pure devotees, and then he went into this 3 or 4 verses explaining you should not be envious, you should not disregard, or you should not criticize. But then one thing I heard about it, and I think it must have been mentioned in the verses as well, is that it's not just about devotees, it's about everyone, all living entities.
Yeah.
And that was a big eye-opening for me.
But there's also gradations.
Then he explains the gradations, and pure devotees as
So respect goes to all living entities.
all living entities.
Mosquitoes.
I mean, there is discrimination for sure, like we cannot hug a tiger, but the fact that it's in general, even at workplace or any other place, we should not be criticizing, we should not be disregarding.
You can discriminate without criticizing. See what's what without vilifying. That's it's a high credential, but respect. First, just very very simple ABC. Don't abandon respect. While respect goes to the soul, not necessarily to the behavior, and then it's differentiating between gradations of behavior, but the soul is beyond the modes of nature.
Yes, Maharaj. I was thinking the same, as if even anywhere outside, if you're dealing with non-devotees, we need to think of them as they also have Krishna inside them. They also have super soul. They also have a soul. So we need to respect everyone, but there has to be some discrimination for sure. And
in these commentaries, Jiva Goswami deals with it. You know, the S with a capital S, or self with a capital S. He's the self of all living entities. And he goes into, that doesn't mean that the living entity is God. That's a mistaken conception. It's a popular Mayavad conception. So it takes refinement of good teachers, good teachings, and applying those teachings under the guidance of a qualified teacher, so that our covered state of consciousness can become uncovered. It takes some time. It takes some effort and mercy. Okay. Okay.
Thank you for class, Maharaj. Please accept my humble obeisances.
Hare Krishna.
I was Srila Prabhupada. Practically speaking, on the flip side, how do we work on our tolerance towards disrespect from Vaishnavas?
Our tolerance towards, so someone disrespects a Vaishnava, and how we work on our tolerance of that disrespect. That's your question.
Yeah, specifically towards ourselves.
Particularly towards yourself, okay. Shikshastika 3. And a purpose that it may inspire you or someone, a devotee, to apply Shikshastika 3 better than yesterday, today, is a purpose, the purpose of pleasing Krishna, the bhakti. Anukulyena Krishna Anushilanam. And that's going to be pleasing to Krishna if I can. No. Being tolerant doesn't mean ignorant. Being tolerant is like the tree. So when it's cold, the tree feels the cold. When it's hot, the tree feels the hot or heat. So you can be aware of disrespect, but not be moved by it, because it has nothing, the amanina amanadena, without desiring to get approval by others, but ready to offer. So it's just cultivate the spiritual position for the purpose of pleasing Krishna, of bhakti, for the purpose of pleasing Krishna. So make that, try, you, me, all of us, try to make that stronger, pleasing Krishna purpose of my life. And then there's some areas where I'm stronger, there's some areas where I'm weaker. So what do? You don't beat yourself up because I'm weak over here. You do something that makes you strong, and you borrow strength from that which makes you strong and apply it where it's not so strong. Apply some of that strength for the purpose of pleasing Krishna. Not that you'll get some points on your report card, but to pleasing Krishna. That's bhakti. Move towards a bhakti-centered life. Krishna is to be pleased, even in difficult circumstances. Continuing, Krishna should be pleased. That's the high test fuel in your tank. Krishna should be pleased somehow, even in difficult situations. You have something? Okay. Yeah, sure. What's our ending time? 1 o'clock. Okay.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Okay.
There we go. Sorry, I came a little late. But just off this last point, can the anartana vritti, because Trinadapi Sunichana, this is, I've heard, maybe you can correct, if the Shikshastakam, like the Adav Shraddha, Sadhu Sangha, Bhajana Kriya, these stages of bhakti are also sometimes correlated with the Shikshastakam.
Yeah.
And so if we, as Prabhu was saying, if we experience disrespect from others and or sometimes find ourselves caught in this duality, conflict mentality of disrespect, can we understand somehow that that is not only a chance for us to surrender more and humble ourselves to please Krishna, and thereby, get strength to tolerate, but also to understand that this is maybe a sad situation where disrespect is arising from triggered anarthas in the other person, and then not take it so seriously because we understand it's a projection of that.
Yeah.
Could you speak to that?
Sure. It's called life. It's not at all uncommon. It's not like super common, but it's not at all uncommon that somewhere back there, somebody had some misfortune. A father that was harsh, or a mother that was neglectful, or a boyfriend, girlfriend that trashed them, and it's like something back there. And then as soon as that person that had that past experience, you get near fire, and you just have to look at the fire and it burns. It's like they get triggered by something that has nothing to do with the immediate circumstance, but triggered by something that's embedded in their system. And it happens. Then people have difficulty with one another because of something back there. So anyway, there's a whole school of trauma therapy dealing with people that, so without bhakti, trauma therapy doesn't go anywhere, but with bhakti, it can help. So the person can look at that situation and not explode or get triggered, and then look at the present situation. It's not the past situation. It's not. So it's like it takes a while. The mind embedded with impressions and triggers. I think that's what you're speaking about. So someone who's skilled and and understanding in a sangha of Vaishnavas that don't judge or don't react when somebody goes through some behavior like that. They may not understand what's going on, but they're not judging that behavior. They're understanding there's something back there. I don't know what that is. So then in a supportive way, help the person that's being triggered by circumstance that in many cases, there may be some resemblance to it. There may be no resemblance at all. It just triggers. It reminds them of something from the past. They just behave in very strange ways. So don't judge and be respectful and helpful in ways that a Vaishnava can be helpful to another person if you don't really understand what they're going through. So, so then what does that look like? Then it depends so much upon the person and the relationship and the dynamics and so forth. But, a community This is a little bit like the point that you were making yesterday. The community is ready and able, ready, willing, and able to be supportive of someone that's, behaving in a way that's not so becoming, but without judging that behavior that's not so becoming. Recognizing it's not appropriate, but, what do you do? What are you going to do about it? How are you going to handle that situation? It's not always, again, I'll go back to the starting point. It's not totally uncommon. Someone behaves in a way or speaks in a way that's surprising or shocking. It has, especially when it has nothing to do. Others don't see any apparent connection between the reality of the situation and the behavior or the response. There's something in the background. And then how to deal with it without judging. That's the starting point. Being respectful, and then being respectful in what way, according to the circumstance. Without, so I may not be such a refined person to understand all these things, but let me not be a contributor to the pain of another. Okay. Yeah.
Thank you, Maharaj, for the deep dive into the Kalya pastimes. I was going through the Nagapatni's prayers, and like you said, very elevated prayers and deep. I learned a lot of things about Krishna. They know about Krishna pretty nicely. And just like how the Vaishnava etiquette prayers are, they praise the Lord, then put in their request, and they end their prayers with the 10:16:53. Now that they're telling that, now please tell us, your maid servants, what we should do. Certainly, anyone who faithfully executes your order is automatically freed from all fear. So to me, it just does it, like very elevated devotees, and for me, it's like, just, I don't know, pure devotees, like you said, but very elevated devotees, and I don't see any.
Good role models. Others? Krishna Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Sorry we went like almost 9 minutes, 10 minutes more because we wanted to finish the lecture. If any devotee have any questions or comment, please feel free to share. Yes, Sarvari Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Maharaj said that being tolerant is not being ignorant, but it's like being a tree. So that was a very nice statement, because trees are tolerant, they can feel, but they do not react. So being tolerant is like being a tree. I like that. Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Prabhu.
Am I audible, Prabhu? Hare Krishna.
Yes, no, please go ahead.
Prabhu, Mataji also repeated the same thing, but I have like almost 3 questions devotees asked on the same line. Maharaji answered this question in 3 different ways. Maybe I could not listen properly. Like someone is experiencing disrespectful. So one answer is we should not we should not be we should be tolerating but not ignorant. Other Maharaji was mentioning second answer. I little bit I need some more detailed discussions because these are the situations it comes out ki what actually really we are. So need some more practical detailed answer ki how we should deal this kind of situations.
Okay. So, okay. First of all, thank you, Sabri Mataji, for your comment. I could not unmute that time. Yes, Chandan Prabhu. So basically, your question is that so Maharaj, when told that if there is some insult to our own self by somebody, we should acknowledge. I mean, we should know that it is, and we should tolerate. But the goal should be pleasing to Krishna. That's what Maharaj's whole answer was. That is the answer you are referring to, Prabhu, right? Where you need more
Yes, yes.
clarification.
Second answer was Maharaj is told that we should be we should behave like the Krishna should be pleasing, but it is very tough time if someone is like disrespecting us. Then in that condition also, if we are thinking how I should behave that Krishna is pleasing, so need more detailed like ways, practical ways कि ये कैसे मतलब हम क्या उस तरह से बिहेव करें then Krishna is pleasing that time.
Okay. I'll just share maybe one or two lines and then we'll request devotees to further explain. So tolerance does not mean no action. No, we can take action if something, some insulting something happens. It's not that we should keep quiet and that way Krishna will be pleased. We can take some appropriate action, but keeping in the bigger picture in the mind is that Krishna should be pleased. So tolerance does not mean no action. That's what I understood from Maharaj previous lecture also. I would request devotees to add more on this. But before that, Chandrakishore Prabhu had one question. Please, Prabhu, please feel free to share. And then I'll request devotees to add in the response to Chandra Prabhu's question.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. One of the devotee was talking about how to deal with respect. It is not only about human beings. We have to respect everyone. So that's what he was mentioning about sixth canto, third chapter, some verse. So that part he was kind of mentioning eye opener for me for this topic. What Prabhupada has written on the commentaries. That's what, Prabhu. Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhu. Even for me also, when Maharaj told one thing, he told that even before also, that the respect should go to the soul, and then there are the behavior part also. But the soul is the main person to where we extend our respect to. That's part and parcel of Krishna. And then the behavior, different gradations, we can accordingly deal or discriminate also. And he said, we can discriminate without disrespecting. That's also something nice. Thank you for sharing, Prabhu. Yeah, any devotee would like to add or would like to respond to Chandan Prabhu's question? We have 5 more minutes left. Yes, Prabhu, somebody raised the hand. Please go ahead, Prabhu.
It's me, Shyam Kunda. Yes.
Shyam Prabhu, yes, Prabhu, please.
Wait. On the topic of on the point about respect. Normally, when this question is raised or people ask, the way. Just a minute. The way people talk about it usually is somebody is not respecting me. How do I deal with it? and the answer expected is typically if I am uh, having a sense or I'm feeling being disrespected, if I am disrespected, how do I view the other? Or how do we view the other spiritually? Like the point you just said, look at the other person as a soul, not just their behavior pattern, things like that. But there's definitely that other aspect is there. Other person, how do we view, how do we consider, and how do we apply it in our own spiritual life? That is one aspect. But the other aspect is there something wrong in, or is there something that I can do in myself? That aspect is also there. For example, in some cases, depending on our, like what Maharaj said, there might have been some triggers in our past life or in this life itself, sometime in the past. Um, if certain events had happened, then it becomes very tough for us to process some similar such events. For example, a child who has been right from childhood been uh, scolded by their parents and being beaten for a very small thing, they might some children might develop a tendency to uh, hate anybody telling them anything. So if tomorrow somebody gives a correction, the child becomes an adult one fine day. If somebody gives a correction saying, I think you shouldn't have done this, you should have done that way, the child doesn't recognize, doesn't recollect what happened during the childhood, but the immediate response that comes is, who are you to tell me? Why are you telling me this? Uh, so if one feels that the very fact that somebody is correcting me or giving me a feedback, not even correcting, is actually an insult for me, and it is treated as disrespect. That is one aspect here. The second aspect in one's own self is that since I'm a student of astrology, one thing that I have seen here is due to the positions of the planets in the person's horoscope, everybody has a particular nature. They are okay and tolerant of certain things, and they'll be intolerant of certain things. And this also varies with time. There will be certain what we call in astrology as gochara, transit of planets. So there are planets like Saturn, which will stay for 2.5 years in a sign, Jupiter for 1 year, things like that. So for an extended period of time, sometimes for 5 years, 7 years, what we call as the dasha periods, an individual exhibits a particular kind of behavior. And it seems that for that individual at that point in time, um, if he doesn't exhibit that behavior, he feels unnatural. And therefore, if anybody doesn't resonate with that kind of behavior, it seems as disrespectful or not valuing myself. So this is one aspect of it. So as mature sadhakas, we should know that this too shall pass. This is a phase that will go away. That's it. So not to be too worried about it. And the bottom line for it is that in in any amount of disrespect, little or big, real or imagined, whatever be that category, real, imagined, little, large, is it help? We should just take it as a means, like how Krishna came on the hood of Kaliya. Others are dancing on my head. Maybe they have Paramatma in their heart, and the Paramatma in their heart is forcing them to dance on my head. It is better to humbly submit to somebody. One has to humbly submit to somebody and say, it could be the other person who, but if the other person is a very nice devotee, very mature devotee, at least go and say, uh, when you do this, this is what is happening to me. Maybe it's my nature. I don't know. You please come and tell me. What is it due to? Is it my nature? Is it like my astrological thing that I'm just going through? I'm unable to control myself. Maybe it is just my uh, past triggers, emotional triggers. Maybe you are able to see it. I don't know. Or maybe I am right. It was just something uh, in a moment of time you told me something and I felt disrespect. Maybe uh, it is just like a spark that appeared once. It's not a continuous thing from your side. Or maybe you really wanted it that way. Please tell me what should be done. I'm open. I'm open to change in myself. And if you think you'd like to change it, I'm open to that. That's a nice conversation to have. Or if one cannot have the courage to do it, at least one should acknowledge to one other nice devotee. Uh, or if one is even more advanced in life, one can just say, "Hey, these are things in life. Let's move on. Let's chant and go on." It depends on the stage of where that individual is. But the final point here is from our side, we have to be very, very careful of a phrase called Maryada Vyatikrama. This Maryada Vyatikrama, that uh, of disrespecting an individual's connection with God. When we overshoot it, Vyatikrama, when we overshoot it, it means that Krishna will put a curtain in front of him, between him and us. And the more we do, the thickness of the curtain keeps increasing. And devotional life just becomes like trying to extract juice from a sugar cane from which almost everything has already been extracted. Not just devotional life, even our mundane life becomes that way. And we slid further and further. So we have to be careful for that, definitely, but in a very positive way, saying, I am finite. I am bound to make mistakes. Let me see, uh, very happily we have to see. Let me see what mistake I've done. Let me see how I can correct myself. You know, there is a difference between a math Olympiad. If you look at persons who write this math Olympiad, when they're given a problem, and when they are unable to solve it, they take 2 hours. I mean, like in the actual math Olympiad, they are given only four problems or something, like 4 or 6 problems, and they are given 4 hours or 6 hours, something like that. So in their practice sessions also, they take almost 4 hours for one problem. They they don't feel bad that, oh my God, why is it so bad? Every moment they feel, oh, it's challenging. Come on, I'm learning something new. Let me try to that this method. Let me try that method. Let me try to learn. So when we see problems as obstacles to be overcome, life is burdensome. When we see problems as uncovering something between us and God, it becomes thrilling. So we need to take life in that thrilling way. That's the truth. Not so problems are a thrill. Disrespect is a thrill. Relationship manage issues are a thrill. Let's go with thrill. That's it.
Prabhu, you just told that example of curtain. I couldn't understand that point of curtain. Can you please clarify that? What is it?
So if you have a deity in front of you, okay, and then you have a thin curtain, transparent curtain, you'll not be able to see the deity fully, but you'll be to some good extent. Now increase the thickness of the curtain. You will not be able to see the deity more, and finally, when the thick curtain comes, we cannot see the deity, right? That is what happens when we uh, do not properly consider other devotees in this world. When we have ill, uh, ill will towards other devotees, ill will towards God, then the curtain becomes thicker and thicker, and finally, it is the deity on the other side of the curtain is not seen. That's what happens in the spiritual life, that we practice, but the curtain is just closed. For the curtain to open, the way curtain opens is we think that curtain naturally opens, just the curtain is opened fully. But in spiritual life, that curtain, the way it opens is it becomes thinner and thinner. And finally, it becomes transparent. And then, after it becomes transparent, it opens so that we enter into the pastimes of the Lord. So, the Nama, Rupa, Guna, Leela, one by one. The Nama comes first, then the Rupa comes next, the Guna comes next. And only after this Nama, Rupa, Guna is appreciated, then the curtain full, even if it is transparent, fully opens and you can enter into the curtain to do something for the Leela. Is that clear?
Yes, it's clear, but I'm not able to connect with the original question. Other things I was able to.
Okay, the connection is that
Uh,
when there is disrespect,
uh,
one is effectively doing some kind of a Vaishnava aparadh. That Vaishnava aparadh closes our perception of God.
So when I'm disrespecting others, not to
Yes.
my, yeah, yes.
When I disrespect others or when I have ill will towards others.
Okay. Okay. Got it, Prabhu. Yeah, got it.
Mhm.
Oh, maybe Chandan Prabhu, over to you if you have anything more to.
Yeah, Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Yeah, last
Yes.
point, what you told, Prabhu? Ill will, what,
Ill
Prabhu?
will. Ill will means I wish bad for others.
Yeah,
Okay.
yes, Prabhu, yes.
I
Clear
mean,
from
I,
that.
I mean, the worst thing that things that even happen these days, it is glorified, which unfortunately shouldn't be. Is if somebody is from a different religion, different nationality, oh, if they are so bad, we are so good, let us destroy them. No, everybody is a child of God. We shouldn't have that kind of a mindset.
Thank you so much, Sham Kun
Thank you,
Prabhu,
Prabhu.
other devotees for sharing your thoughts. 7:17. Let's meet tomorrow. Vanchakalpatarubhyacha kripa sindhubhyo patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavabhyo namo namah. Anantakoti Vaishnava ki jai. Hare Krishna devotees. Thank you.
Hare
Thank you,
Krishna.
Prabhu. Hare Krishna.